shit. We're staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually buried, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor and a bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the party's mixed, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on the deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 163 of Phired Up Sports. Check us out at firedupsports.com. I'm Mike Toledo. Joining me as always, Dom Console. Dom, what's going on today?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Not much.
Feels like a while. Feels like
It does.
It's only been a week. We only missed 1 week so far.
We did. Yep.
But I feel like we've only been on 2 of the last 4 weeks, so like it feels weird.
It does feel weird,
but you know what I mean.
but it does. But like this is the kind of time where we can do it, right? There's really not a whole lot going on. Obviously, we missed the trade deadline stuff last week. But like we're just kind of waiting for football season to get going. I mean, I don't know how excited you get for training camp, but that's
well,
that's here.
currently on my TV, it's Inside Training Camp. Live.
Okay,
well, it's
so
not really live, but like
you're all in.
recording. Yeah. Just for the aspect of the sport, I don't really like. We talked about it before. They're wearing gym shorts and like they're not playing real football. So it's like but it scratches the itch a little bit.
A little bit. Like I don't think you could. We talk about this every year. Like I don't think you're gonna make or break a season based on how you look in training camp.
Sure.
I think I tend to look more towards like where the guys are maybe mentally or the way they answer some certain questions here or there. Like I think that's more interesting in training camp than how they look playing football because it's not football.
And we've talked about this over the years on the show, off the show. The idea of like preseason and like because that's a part of training camp. The first like 2 weeks of preseason is technically training camp. So like, I think it's going to be an interesting year for a couple different reasons. I'm not like I have to watch every single snap of the preseason. Chris and I used to be like that. Like back in like 2015, we would like watch every snap of every Eagles preseason game.
Yeah.
We'd watch guys that hardly make the practice squad and talk about those guys. But like listen, getting older, getting more responsibility. It's so much harder to sit down and watch.
Who has time for all that?
Right. Or interest. Like,
right.
I realized in 2017, I'm like watching guys that never make the team. So like, but there are a couple things that like I'm interested in seeing in training camp and in preseason, specifically a guy like Nolan Smith, a guy like Jordan Davis, guy like Jalen Carter, the defensive line. I'd really like to see what those guys are during training camp and during the preseason, specifically Nolan Smith. Like, I don't know what he is. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be fun to watch. Are the starters even going to play much on the offense? They didn't last year.
Yeah, they didn't really last year. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of that's the way the NFL is going, right? Is nobody really plays the preseason anymore? Like, it used to be what? Game 1, you play like a quarter. Game 2, you play a half.
Not even the first quarter, the first game when it was 4 games, you used to play like a drive the first game, and then you would play like 15 plays the second game,
yeah,
or like the quarter basically, and then the third game you'd play the half, and then the fourth game you'd sit.
Right now, you just barely play. If you get like one drive in the preseason, then that's pretty much all you're going to get.
Yeah.
So yeah, have they like announced their plan? Because their first game's Friday, right?
Friday night, yeah.
Friday night.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen any sort of plan, but
I'm gonna assume that like especially for the first game, like I don't think Jalen Hurts is gonna play. Like I assume Pickett's gonna start, and I assume that like I said, guys like Nolan Smith are probably gonna play in the
And we have this debate every single year. Do you think they need do you think the starters need to play in live games?
I mean, I think we've come to an understanding last year, you and I, that like I don't know that necessarily the preseason is even like necessary, if that's the right word.
Well, I think it might be more necessary this year than last year.
Why?
Because you have, and I guess you kind of in a sense did have last year, but like the two new coordinators coming in, like I think live snaps is important.
Well, okay, let me rephrase this.
Okay.
I think in the current format, it's good. It's not a bad thing to play. It's never a bad thing to play. But I just think like going forward, like I just want to see them get rid of preseason games and just have practice, like have good practices against other teams. Like who do they play Friday?
Who is it Friday?
Is it Baltimore?
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you.
I think it's Baltimore. They just have a joint practice, sell it out. People will go. People went to the open practice here. Like
sure.
Did
you go?
I did.
How was it? It is Baltimore Friday, by the way.
Yeah. So let me finish my
yeah, go ahead.
My thought. I just think it would be like way better to just like have a joint practice with Baltimore. Let the fans come out, pay your $10 or whatever it is, to 20, whatever. And there it is. Like, and you don't
still make your money.
You sell alcohol, you sell food.
Yep. Still make your money.
Parking, all that. So
still put it on TV. I don't care. Like whatever.
Yeah, right. It's just I think with the current way it is, I'm not necessarily like, I don't strongly believe either. Whether it's good or bad. I can see the positives and negatives in both, but like Hurts didn't play. I don't think Hurts played a snap the last 2 years. And 1 year he went to the Super Bowl, and last year he didn't look good. So
right. Yeah,
there's really nothing like to base it off of last
for the
years,
for the starters. There's no point in the in the preseason, but like then you look at like maybe position battles and the guys that are like fringe roster players. It's like I think you could tell more from those players in a game setting than you can in practice.
But I think you could do the game setting, in practice if you go up against,
try to mimic it. Yeah.
But like of the position battles, like what is it besides backup quarterback? Like because
I don't even think it's a battle. I don't think it's a battle backup quarterback.
I've heard that McKee looks better than Pickett.
I know, but
don't you like? I thought you liked McKee more than Pickett.
I do like McKee more than Pickett, but I think Pickett has the pedgree, right? The high draft pick, all that. So I know that was 4 years ago at this point, maybe even longer than that now.
When he was drafted, I think this is going to be his third year.
So his third year. The NFL comes at you fast.
He's old. He's old too. He was like a fifth year senior, I think. And so he was a little bit older too. He's probably like 25, 26 right now.
Yeah.
27.
It's crazy. Like, this is his third year and like people are giving up on him. Like the NFL comes at you fast.
Yeah. But like besides backup quarterback, like because I think you do want to see what McKee has. I think you do want to see what Will Grier has. I don't know how much they really provide.
He won't be on the roster, Grier.
No. But like McKee might not even be either. But
if he looks better, better than Pickett, they're not going to want to get rid of McKee. Like somebody will scoop him and pick him up.
Yeah, but we said that last year.
Yeah,
we looked really good last year in the preseason, and nobody scooped him up off the practice squad. So like, that doesn't mean somebody won't this year. But like, I don't know. But besides backup quarterback, like we already know what the running back room looks like. Like,
I guess
it's going to be Saquon. It's going to be Saquon, Gainwell, and Shipley.
Yeah.
I don't even know who. Do they even? They obviously have bodies, but like, is there anybody else that's
Yeah, I don't know. I guess another. And I don't even know if battle is the right word, but like, I guess where you put people, I guess like secondary, maybe there's a little bit of like a cornerback specifically.
Yeah,
like who plays where kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. I think they're gonna. I think they know what they're gonna do there, though. Like,
yeah,
I think the real question mark is backup quarterback. I think another question mark is the right guard because, obviously they brought Becton in, and in his career he's been so unhealthy He hasn't been able to stay healthy.
But he
and
plays. He's a good player, though. Really good player.
But he just doesn't stay on the field much. Hopefully at the guard position, it's a little less strain on his body. So besides the backup quarterback, right guard, and like the third receiver on offense, like we already know who the tight end, what the tight end room looks like. We already know what the two outside receivers look like. We already know what the running back room looks like, and the rest of the offensive line. So like, I guess I think that Isaiah Rodgers, and Slay are the two outside cornerbacks. I think Maddox starts at the slot, and then you have Bradbury and CJ Gardner-Johnson as your safeties, and then Reed Blankenship, because they do the 5 defensive backs usually instead of the 4, and they set up the 2 linebackers. But like even the linebackers, like it's going to be Devin White and Nakobe Dean. As long as they stay healthy and play well, like there's really no other competition, right? Like Trotter's going to play special teams. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer about Friday because it's exciting that football's back, but
yeah, but this is what preseason football is like.
Sure.
I think a lot of these teams kind of know where guys sit or where guys stand in preseason. Like they position battles are one thing, but like for most of the roster, like I think they kind of know what the team is.
Sure. I think it's really just more of the sense of like they've had 2 weeks so far to like figure out who's going to be my right guard, who's going to be the starting linebacker, who's going to be the third receiver. I think that they view that I agree. I think they know, and then these games I think solidify whether a guy makes special teams or whether or makes a roster as a special teams player. Or
also the cornerbacks. Did you mention Mitchell?
No, I don't think he's going to start.
You don't think he's starting?
Mm-mm.
Apparently, it looks good. I know he's obviously a rookie, but
yeah. Well, that's what this team does, though. Like under Jeffrey Lurie, like they don't start rookies. And Wentz was the only guy in the last 6, 7, 8 years that has started. Like Miles Sanders wasn't the starting running back his rookie year.
And
Devontae
Wentz
Smith
wouldn't have started, but the trade fell in their lap. Like
yeah. Well, I think they would have started him anyway.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they would have traded Brad. I think the trade that they got fell in their hands. I think they would have traded Bradford.
Okay.
Because maybe. I think they thought Wentz was ready. I just think they were like, a miracle happened. They're like, oh, well, we get to trade him for a first round pick instead of, 5th round pick or whatever it is.
Right.
But I was going to say something else.
Did that comment throw you off? Is that what it was?
No, I saw that a while ago.
I just saw
it. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm mostly excited to see Nolan Smith.
What do you think? Again, I keep going back to the cornerback room because I think that's like, other than backup quarterback, that's probably the most intriguing for me, just because there's so many bodies. But like Kaylee Ringo, like I thought he did a decent job last year when called upon. Like, he only there's any chance.
I think it was a roller coaster. I think I think he looked really good sometimes and really not great. I was a fan. I was a fan of his last year. I think he slots in more as like a safety personally.
Yep.
So I really think Bradbury is like, if it just doesn't work out, then like they have options. And I feel like that's been the problem with this team these last 5, 6, 7 years is like the cornerback room just like gets annihilated and like they have nobody else to step up. So that's why I think they've really brought in a lot of bodies that can,
I think Cooper DeJean, I was about to ask, like, what's his deal?
I think he's hurt. He's hurt right now.
Yeah.
They said he should be back for week 1. Like the end of preseason.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's gonna play much on the defense unless there's injuries. It really is gonna depend on Avonte Maddox too. Like, is Avonte Maddox gonna stay healthy? Because if not, then you're gonna throw in a Quinyon Mitchell or a Cooper DeJean or a Kelly Ringo. I think it's a good problem to have, though. I think having too many good players is a better problem than not having enough.
Yeah. Are we like is it like officially like locked in Cam Jurgens center?
I think so.
Right? I don't really know who else. I don't really know who else you put there, but and obviously we can't expect Jason Kelsey there. But like, I don't know. I think that could be
they signed They signed a guy in the offseason from Atlanta. He went to Temple. Hennessy?
Yeah, Matt Hennessy, yeah.
Yeah. When he plays, he's really good. It's just he has had a hard time staying on the field.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be a sneaky guy to start at right guard because he's a guard center combo. I thought there was a really good chance he might come in and like possibly take that right guard spot because I think he signed a 3-year deal. I don't think it was just like a 1-year backup deal. I think it was like a 3-year deal to come here and compete for the center and guard position.
Yeah.
So I guess if Jurgens just doesn't pan out as a center, you can move him back to right guard because he played well enough last year at right guard. I think you can move him to right guard and then you put in the veteran.
Yeah, right now on the depth chart, they have Steen at right guard, Jurgens at center, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I think Becton's gonna as long as he's healthy, I think Becton's gonna start at right guard because he started right guard on last Thursday night. So
okay,
at the practice. So
yeah. All right. Yeah. I was like, what do you kind of what's the biggest thing you're kind of looking at on Friday? I mean, I know you might turn on for a little bit, maybe, maybe not.
Like I said, Nolan Smith definitely.
Yep.
The quarterback room definitely, and the third receiver. I think the third receiver is going to be.
Who do you think that's going to be?
My guess is Paris Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably the best, right? Like,
yeah.
The kid they drafted later in the draft. I think he was a 5th round pick or 5th round pick. I think.
Aeneas Smith, or I don't know how you pronounce his first name.
Aeneas or something. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's a little
I
player. Maybe
Aeneas Smith.
Yeah.
I don't want to make that mistake.
I think he could be a player. You know, I'd be interested in seeing him. You know, on Friday night and the rest of this preseason.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Yep.
Let's move on then to obviously the big talking point right now is the Phillies, and I've heard some like wild takes about the Phillies.
Yep.
Like one opinion I saw on Twitter was like they're never gonna win with this core. Time to blow it up and trade everybody. It's like everybody, like, calm down. All right. Yep. I understand it's a rough. It's hard to call it a rough patch because it's the last 2 months. So I get it. I get why people are concerned and panicking. But like it's baseball. These things happen. Like calm down.
I think the stretch is longer than I expected or people expected of like
it's been since their London trip, basically.
Yeah, but I don't think they've been bad since their London trip. I think they've just been average. I think they've been average over that 6-week span. I think the last 2 weeks or week and a half has been brutal.
Sure.
I'm not panicking, but I'm concerned. I am concerned. And it doesn't get easier, especially the rest of August. Like, who do they play?
Dodgers tonight.
They play the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, and then they come home. But I think like the rest of August is not like very favorable. They play the Marlins, the Nats, then they play the Braves, the Royals, the Astros, the Braves in a row.
Well, it's a good thing the Braves don't really want the division either. Because like this could be a much closer race for the division. Like I mean, I know the Phillies only what 5 games at this point, 5 or 6 games at this point. So like it could theoretically they just split against the Marlins. The Marlins payroll is like $15 million. Like, how's that even possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think Atlanta's still a team to like look at and say, "Oh my God, let's not play Atlanta."
Sure.
The D-backs have gotten hot. Like the Dodgers. Listen, you have the Dodgers who are good. You have Atlanta who's been. I mean, Arizona has been hot. Then you have 2 against the Marlins, and then you have 4 against the Nats. So like, really, you have to win like
5 or 6.
Yeah, probably.
And
honestly,
that's probably ambitious based on what we've seen the last handful of weeks.
Then they go to Atlanta, they go to Kansas City, they come home to Houston, and they come home to Atlanta, and that's to end out the month.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough stretch.
But at least the rest of September is not too bad. You've got the Blue Jays, the Marlins again, the Rays, the Mets, who are probably the hottest team in the last 6 weeks.
Blame Grimace.
Then they go to the Brewers, which is, obviously a tough series. They go to the Mets, the Cubs, the Nats.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be much closer than we thought it would be like a month ago.
Sure. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say a month or 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when they won 65 games or they were the first team to 40, the first team to 50, that like I expected them to collapse because I didn't, and they haven't collapsed yet. Don't get me wrong.
Not yet.
I don't know that I sat there and was like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like a lot of people are sitting here saying, but like we just said, like the best teams, like the 08 team in July, I think it was, went like, I think it was like 5 of 12 or something, or 4 of 12. And then the 09 team went 4 for 11 in July. Like it happens.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I expected this much of a regression compared to, June, early or April, May, June, whatever.
Yep.
So, and really the deadline did not
That's what I was about to ask.
Make me feel any better.
Carlos Estevez, Austin Hayes. I mean, what do you? Those are the two big moves they make.
Estevez was the second best arm on the market.
He's been really good, and I think he's only had one appearance so far, right, with the Phillies. I think he's only has one appearance. I believe.
Is it one? I thought it was 2 or 3.
It could have been 2. You know, it's been 3. Okay, he's 0-1. That's why I saw the one. I
think he had it was
3 and 2/3.
He blew the game. He didn't blow it.
I was gonna say it says he gave up a run, but doesn't. But he's got a run. 0 earned runs. But he gave up 1 run, but it was not earned.
So did you see what happened?
I don't remember that.
He was what game was it? It was the bases loaded. He walked in the run, but he struck out the guy.
Oh, this was 2 nights ago or whatever.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 days ago. 2 or 3
Seattle.
games ago.
Yeah, Seattle.
Yes, the second Seattle game. Bases
I
loaded.
did see that. Yes.
He struck out. What should have been a strike was called a ball. The next pitch, I believe, was a ball, and it walked in the winning run.
And to be fair, it was like 5-0. They should have won that game anyway. Should never have got the extra innings.
Sure.
I think, and the 5 runs they scored were in the first 3 innings. So like, where's the offense the rest of the game? Like.
Well, yeah, I mean, but 5 runs should be enough to win you a game.
It should. No, I agree, but it's a thing where we talk about feast or famine. It's like you're either scoring a bunch of runs or they just dry up. Like you can't get a single run from inning 4 to 9. Like
I think I'm more concerned about the pitching, and I haven't heard enough people talk about that because if you go back to when they were the best team in baseball,
but nobody expects them to be the best staff in baseball. I don't think.
What do you mean? They were the number 1 staff coming into the league this year.
You expect it from Wheeler, and to an extent, you expect it from Nola. Nobody like.
I mean the whole staff. I mean the whole, not just the rotation. I just mean the whole staff.
Oh, sure. I'm just talking about the rotation, but like nobody.
They were rated high.
I understand, but I don't think you could expect Chris Sanchez to do what he did for the first half of the season. Ranger Suarez, as much as I love me some Ranger, his ERA was stupid the first half of the season. Like, I don't think you can expect that from those guys.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying I think you can still definitely be concerned about their usage. I think you can be concerned about how they're throwing the ball. Look at Wheeler has not looked good other than yesterday since the end of June.
Sure.
Really, honestly, he hasn't looked good since the Orioles game. He had maybe one good start since then, besides yesterday. And that was June 20th. We're in August, so like, right. I don't feel like, I feel like there were times where even like he was good and good enough to keep them in the game, but like, what game was it? Because he's had 2 starts since the All-Star break, right? It was the Yankee game. Yes. It was the first Yankee game. He gave up 3 home runs in like the first 4 innings, and it was just like, he looks terrible. I just think I'm more.
Is that the game where they gave up 14 runs or something? Or no.
I'm the judge.
Did you freeze? Are you there?
No, I'm here.
All right, you froze for a second. Yeah, go ahead. Repeat whatever you just said.
Yeah, it was the 14-run game.
Where they embarrassed themselves in front of Matvey Mishkov.
Yeah,
it was that night.
Judge hit his 14th first inning home run of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I what was I going to say? I'm more concerned about the pitching because, like, if you think about it, like, go back to like May and April and early June, where like there were times where like the lineup really wasn't hitting, and we weren't talking about it because the pitching was so good. I don't care what anybody says. It's great they were the first to 40 and the first to 50 and the first to 60, but like there were times where the lineup didn't hit, but the pitching was there from fourth series of the season on up until mid June, late June.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I'm a little bit more concerned about the pitching than the lineup.
Well, I think people,
like I said, the Seattle game, you're up 5-0. That should be enough to win a game.
It should. But I think people still remember the Diamondback series, right, from last year, is like the reason they lost the series. And yeah, I understand Kimbrel, right? I think Kimbrel gave up a lead. Alvarado wasn't great in that late in that series, but like
their pitching,
they still remember the bats. They still remember the bats.
I don't disagree. I think they should have gone out and got a top notch bat. I totally agree. But Ranger was very bad in game 7. He gave up 4 runs in the fourth by the 4th inning or something. So like,
but it should have never got to a game 7 though. Like I don't think that
agree.
series on Ranger. Like it should have never.
No, neither do I. I don't think so either. I think it's a crime that you score 4 runs in game 6 and 7 combined. I totally get it. At home. I totally get it. I'm not saying their pitching was the biggest thing that series. I definitely think it was the hitting, especially in game 6 and 7. But I also think that like pitching is what wins you wins you playoff games. Like,
yeah, I don't disagree with that.
So, yeah, I just think I'm a little bit more concerned about how they're going about the pitching. But I really do think they should have went out and got a prime time bat if they could have.
Like a Rooker kind of thing.
Yeah, I would have loved Rooker. I don't give a shit that he can't play the outfield.
Maybe the Aces didn't want to give him up, or
it's possible.
They wanted a combination of Miller, Painter, Crawford. Like, who knows what they?
I just don't know that. I'm not convinced, and I could be wrong, but I'm just not convinced that you would have had to give up more than what Seattle gave up for Rosarina, and they gave up their 20th ranked prospect, not the 20th ranked prospect in baseball, their 20th ranked prospect, and another like low ranked prospect. I think was even lower. He might have been like the 25th ranked prospect for a Rosarina, and I think Rooker's a better hitter than a Rosarina, especially
younger
this year.
No, he's younger, isn't he?
I think Rooker's almost 30. He's 29 or 30.
Is he? He's just getting played, I guess. For some reason, I think of him as like a 26-year-old.
No.
I don't know why. I don't know why I do that, but I guess he just came up later. And it feels like a Rosarina's been around for a while.
They're the same age.
Are they really?
Both 29.
Rosarina just feels like he's been around so much longer. I don't know why.
Rooker will be 30 in November.
Wow.
And a Rosarina will be 30 in February.
All right.
But I think I'd rather have the right-handed power bat that is a little bit of a below average left fielder defensively. But it'll get you 30, and he's already surpassed his RBIs this year. He's gonna surpass his homers. I think last year was 30 and 69. He's he might actually be close to 30, and he's definitely surpassed the RBIs. And that's on a bad team. That's on a team where he sees all the pitches.
Right. Yeah,
he's at 28 and 81, and he's hitting 290.
Right. Yeah, I don't really know like what their idea was, like why they didn't go out and get that big bat. Maybe the prices were too high or whatever. But like, part of me, like I'm somewhere in between being pissed off that no big move was made, and the other part of me is like, well, I kind of understand
relieved that they didn't. Trade.
Not relieved, but like I understand it. Like you look at like if I'm David Dombrowski, I'm looking at this lineup, I'm looking at this payroll. I have Trey Turner making him $1 zillion. I got Bryce Harper, I got Schwarber, all these guys that should be really good. Wheeler, Nola. You guys are putting yourself in this mess. Why would I help you out? Like it's your job to get out of this mess.
Who's helping? What do you?
Like if I'm Dombrowski, I'm thinking to the players. I'm paying you guys a shitload of money. You guys are superstars. Figure this out.
Yeah, but I think they've lacked something that they've had. I think the last 2 years they've lacked two things. And I think 2 years ago when they went to the World Series, it was defense. So what did they do? They went out and got Trey Turner. I know he has his moments. I get it. But he's better. The team is better defensively with Trey Turner at shortstop and Stott at second than they were with Segura at second and Stott at shortstop. So I think they definitely got better defensively in the middle infield. Bohm got better defensively. since the 2022 playoff run. But you let Hoskins go. You lose the 30 homers, but you gain Harper, who's potentially a Gold Glove first baseman this year. So I think they've gotten better defensively from 2022, where in 2023 they lose a bat in Hoskins, and I just think that they keep bringing in the same guy. They keep bringing in Alec Boehm, who hits 20 homers, Castellanos, who hits 24 homers, JT, who hits 22 homers. I think it all helps. I think it's good. I think Marsh, who hits 15 homers. Like, I think it's all good, but I think they're missing that one more big bat. Look at the best teams in the league, right? Like the Dodgers. The Dodgers have 3 guys that could hit 40 plus.
Sure.
And that's Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. Healthy, I mean. Sure. All healthy. Who are the other good teams?
The Yankees, you got Soto,
the Yankees.
Judge, and
even Jazz. Jazz, I think, has been close to hitting 30.
Yeah.
So, like, they went out and made a big move. Who's the other team in the AL? The Orioles. They have Santander, who can hit 30. They have Gunnar Henderson.
I don't know how good.
I don't think Rutschman's going to be a 30 homer guy. I think he's going to be like a 20 to 25. But Henderson's going to hit 30 plus every year. And they're just calling up their players too. Like, these best teams have so much power and good defense, where I think they learned from 2022. We have to get better defensively, but they didn't learn from 2023 that I think you really need a middle of the order guy. I don't think Alec Boehm is that guy. I think
they really don't have that guy either. Because I mean, you look at the options, right? It's Boehm, it's JT, maybe Castellanos if you get real desperate. But like none of those guys are are a 5-hitter.
I think that the Phillies, like, look at the Dodgers. Like, I think the Dodgers, like I said, have 3 guys that hit over 30, but they also have guys that hit 20. And that's what I'm saying. It's like they already have their versions of JT Romito in Will Smith. They already have a version in Max Muncy in Nick Castellanos. Like, they already have the guys that, I mean, I think Muncy's a better power hitter than Castellanos. Agreed. He probably hits 30, 35. But like, I think that they're so deep that, like, they've fixed the middle of the order and the rest of the depth. Like, I think it's good to have the Brandon Marshes and the Castellanoses and the Stotts and the guys that are going to hit between 15 and 25. I just think you need another power bat in the middle of the lineup. I think you need another guy that protects Harper.
Sure, I agree. And I wonder if they go out and make that big move, if they don't, like, if they're not playing bad. And I know that sounds weird, but like, I just go back to, like, again, why am I giving up all this when they might not change anything, because you guys still go cold for long stretches.
But I think that was fair to say the last 2 years, and I think going into this third year of this run is like, you know what you have, like, you know that you need another like, especially in a year where Schwarber's not going to hit close to 50 like he did the last 2 years.
He got too skinny, man. Let's just be honest.
Like, I mean, it's I said it at the beginning of the year. I said it a couple weeks ago. I think, and I don't think I said it on the show, but I think Teoscar Hernandez would have been the perfect guy. I
love Teoscar Hernandez.
I know why they didn't do it. It's because they wanted to see Rojas. They wanted to say, all right, Rojas is in center, Marsh is in left. We really want to try this out. And I just don't think it's working out. And I think they're starting to realize it's not really working out the way they want it to.
I think Hernandez is one of the most underrated offensive players in the league.
I agree.
The last couple of years, he's been great, and nobody really talks about him as much as they should.
No. But yeah, I don't know. I think they need another right-hand power bat. I think Rhys Hoskins theoretically is the perfect guy. It's just where does he play?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I put him in left. Like,
yeah, but at that point, I'd rather just trade for Rooker, like, if it's cheap enough.
Yeah. Maybe it's not cheap enough.
Maybe it's possible. I guess so.
But if it was cheap enough, I think they would have done that instead of Hayes. And I think Hayes has actually been like pretty fine since he got here. Like, I think he's been enough. Like, I don't think he's been terrible. He's been fine. But the problem is,
you already have 50 of them. Right. You already have Castellanos, JT, and Boehm.
Right. That's the problem with World Series aspirations. You need more than fine.
I agree with that. I think he's fine. I think that I'd rather have Austin Hayes than Brandon Marsh. I think Brandon Marsh is a way better defender, and I don't think Brandon Marsh is this like superior defensive outfielder, but I think
slightly above
he's above average.
Yeah.
I think he's above average. I think, but I think he's a lot better than Hayes. Like, but again, like if Hayes is going to hit me 20, 25 homers, which he doesn't do, I'm fine with how bad he is in the outfield. But I think I like Hayes being a right-handed bat more than I like Marsh being a left-handed bat, because I think Hayes can hit both pitching, both right-handed and left-handed, where Marsh rakes against right-handed but can't touch left-handed.
Yeah.
But that's like I'm happy with Hayes in left field if you went out and got like Luis Robert, who hits 35 homers, you know?
Sure. And we talk about
and plays good defense.
Right. We talk about Hayes being like fine. My problem is also like, in my opinion, I don't think Hayes is like an everyday player. And that's what they're gonna have him be.
I think he's more of an everyday player than Marsh is, because Marsh can't hit left-handers.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably fair. Of them, platoon both of them, and then I guess who do you put in center? I don't want Rojas there every night either.
Right. So would you rather have Marsh and Hayes every night, or Marsh / Hayes and Rojas?
I don't want Rojas in there every night. So the other option.
Correct. Since
and I'm actually a fan of Rojas, but he hasn't done it for me.
Since he's been here, 30 plate appearances, he's hit 207 as a Philly.
Okay, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad, but it's, he's had a couple decent moments. I'll say that. All right.
The homer, like I think, kind of like blew over into left field. Like it just made it over.
The wind was good that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like you have an everyday player in left field batting 207.
Right.
With one home run, right?
Yep.
And
like,
how many RBIs?
Below average defense.
3? 4?
What is it? What did you say?
How many RBIs has he had since?
4.
Like 4? Yeah.
He's got 2 stolen bases.
There you go, speedster.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so we shall see. We'll see how the rest of the season pans out.
Are you a little surprised because we talked about pitching earlier, that they didn't make a move for a starter? I know starting pitchers are kind of like crowded in their on the roster. But
did you see Jason Stark's report?
No.
He came out and basically said that they were in on 2 guys until 5:59, and that was
Flaherty.
No. I'm sorry, not 5:59. The one guy, they were in it till the very end, because he got traded before the 6 p.m. deadline.
Mm-hmm.
They were in it. In his article, he said in period, or I'm sorry, he said till period the period end. That's how close. And that was Tanner Scott, even with the Estevez trade.
Oh, I mean, that trade was nuts.
It was crazy.
There's no way I'm giving up my top 5 prospects.
No, they got a haul.
Or relief pitching.
Yeah, but he's really good.
He's great, but he also like having a great season. He wasn't that great last year. Like, what do you get when he comes here? You know what I mean? I think I saw he had like a 4 ERA last year.
That's really good for a relief pitcher.
Not what they gave up for him. And this year he's down to like a 1.2 ERA or something stupid. Like, he's been great this year.
He's got a 1.35 right now.
1.35. Okay.
Last year he had a 2.31.
Maybe was it the year before that? Then he had 4 something.
4.31.
There. Okay, that's what I was looking at. All right.
He's a career 3.64.
Yeah.
That's that's great for a relief pitcher.
Yeah, but the price they gave up is for the one.
I don't disagree. Listen, even if he was all ones, I think that's still too much for a guy that pitches.
He's gonna throw you 25 innings,
4 innings
to the end of the season. Yeah,
but he's been great this year. I think he's a free agent at the end of the year too, which is even crazier.
Yeah, you give that much for a rental.
But he's had 18 saves this year. He's pitched 45 and 2/3.
He's been lights out. He's been dominant.
44 games he's pitched. Yeah,
I don't disagree with any of that. He's been great. But yeah,
I agree.
I wanted them to go out and, like, you look at like what Flaherty got traded for. I would have done that in a heartbeat.
What was it? Remind me.
I think it was 2 prospects, but it was like lower, like 20 20th ranked, 21st, like whatever. He's been really good this year. Really good.
The other guy that I saw was Crochet. They were in it till the very end, and they were close.
Really? See, that's the one where I think you have to give up one of the big guys.
Sure, but I think I would give up Andrew Painter for a Crochet. I think I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, Crochet's how old?
24.
Yeah, I would, because the way you're doing that is like if Painter, like you have to hope Painter becomes a Crochet. Like there's no guarantee he even gets there. You know what I mean? And like Crochet is already that guy.
Yeah. He is tied for. Wait, I just saw it. Pitching leaders. I just saw it. I think he was tied for second. Yeah, he's tied for second for strikeouts in the entire league.
Yeah.
Crochet. He's got 162 right now.
Yeah.
And that's with 2 months left.
Right. So the Dodgers gave up their number 8th and 22nd prospect. So it was a little higher, but 8th and 22nd for Flaherty. Flaherty's having a great season.
Yeah, I think he's a free agent at the end of the year too, though.
Yeah.
So my thing, I think they didn't add pitching. I don't think they were willing to give up the high prospect or prospects for Crochet because I think they've seen what Phillips has done. He's come in and who's the other dude? Machado or Machado.
Something like it. You're close.
These guys have come up and kind of been able to like put a Band-Aid on things until Ranger comes back, until Wheeler was supposed to come back. And obviously Wheeler came back. He's pitched 2 games so far, but like Christopher Sanchez, like until these guys come back and like are healthy, I think they're comfortable enough with. And Phillips has looked good. I mean, he had a really bad game in Seattle Friday night, but other than that, he's looked tremendous. So I think that's why they were just like, why give up all the prospects if we know that next year we could have Painter and he could possibly pan out to be what he is, and he's your 5th guy.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they decided not to make a big move for a pitcher, for starter.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like I understand the.
I mean, I would have been
crowded, but like I'm looking at this year. Like,
I would have been on board. I would have been. I might sound crazy, but I would have even been on board.
Get crazy though. Let's get weird.
If you trade for Crochet, I would have moved Ranger to the bullpen. I would have put him at the back end, not 9th inning. I would absolutely move him to the 7th, 8th inning role, especially in the playoffs.
So I don't.
And he could pitch you 2 or 3 innings if you needed to.
Yeah. You're getting crazy here. I don't know. I don't know. I have to think about that harder.
Only for like a Crochet or a guy that's going to come in and really change things. I would have done that for this year, for the remainder of the year. I don't know that I would go in the next year doing that, but like, I would have been okay with that. Going into the playoffs with Ranger out of the bullpen, Yeah, but it's not something we have to worry about because
no, not anymore.
It didn't happen.
Now you just have to get everybody healthy and So, all right, you got anything else you wanted to talk about tonight? Sixers, Flyers, anything else at all? Not a whole lot going on.
No. Have you been watching any of the Olympics?
No. Here's the thing. I don't care about the Olympics.
Okay. That's fair.
I can't get into it.
Were you ever into it?
Not like I'll watch the Winter Olympics more than the summer. I'm not a huge fan of the Summer Olympics.
Okay. I'm probably the opposite. I probably watch a little bit more this summer than the winter. It's funny because I think I watch more games in the summer, like different like sporting events in the summer, but I think I like the winter specific games more. Like for instance, I think I would.
Like I'm a big hockey guy. Like, so I'll watch hockey in the Olympics.
I'd rather watch hockey than basketball. But I think I love watching swimming. I love track and field.
I can't. It doesn't excite me.
I'll
watch like
the other day.
I think like volleyball or beach volleyball. I think could be entertaining.
Yeah.
Handball and water polo. I think can be kind of entertaining.
Dude, yeah. So the other day, it was like last weekend, I think. And the women's team, the U.S. team, just crushing like Czech or the Czech. I think it was like the Czech Republic. I don't know, whoever they were, Poland, whatever it was. They were playing like some European team, and it's like 13-0. Like in like the first, I don't even know quarters, halves, whatever they play. It was pretty early, like early on. It was 13-0. Like and the other team like kind of started like they made it like 13-5. Like they but there was no way they were coming back. I'm watching water polo, and I told my wife, I was like, if I played this sport when I was like a kid and grew up with this, I think I could like legitimately play. I think I'd be pretty good at water polo. She was like, "Shut up."
There's no chance.
Oh, absolutely. I would be so good at
Dude,
water polo.
You know how much like strength that takes?
Well,
Upper body, lower body,
I'm not saying
all
I
of it.
could go in there and jump in and be like, "Yo, throw me in." Like now.
Like you're just treading water for an entire game.
Yeah, no, I think if I grew up playing it, I think I could have been really good. I think it's
No chance.
100%.
No chance.
100%. I'd be an Olympian. I'd have gold.
All right. Okay.
Dude, I'm not saying me at 28 at fucking out of shape and I could just jump in there and play. I'm not saying it. I'm saying if I was 6 years old and started playing water, I think I could have been pretty good at it.
I still disagree.
Why?
We've had our fair share of pool basketball games. Trust me, I don't think water polo is
okay. I don't think you've ever beaten me in water basketball. So
I'm just saying, all right.
But again, that's me overweight and out of shape. I did. I'm saying if I would have played as a kid,
I'd be an Olympian. If anybody picks up anything at 5 and dedicates their life to it, yeah,
not necessarily.
Anybody could be great at anything.
Nah,
sure.
Not necessarily.
Much larger percentage.
I think I would be the LeBron James of water polo.
You'd be like the third best of all time.
Yeah, I'm fine with the third best. Yeah, I'm fine with the third best.
Okay. Fair.
But I told my wife that. She was like, "Shut up." I was like, "No, I think I'd really be really."
I'm
good.
on your wife's side.
Okay.
Because no chance.
I don't know. I think I'd be pretty good. I think I would have went to like a preppy college and like would have walked in with like I'd be like Bradley Cooper from Wedding Crashers. I'd be like in the like the sweater and
Dude, I watch water
hunting
polo
for quail.
And I'm not even doing anything. I'm sitting on my couch and I get exhausted just watching. Because like it takes so much stamina,
gotta train,
and so
bro.
much strength.
Gotta train.
I don't think you're training for that. I don't think you're training for that.
I think I'd be badass. I really do.
What other Olympic sports do you think you'd be great at?
If I played like
again, if you play at the age of 5 on, you could be great at anything. But what else would you think you'd be great at?
In both or just the summer? I think I'd be a badass volleyball player too.
Like beach volleyball or like regular volleyball?
Both.
Or does it not matter? Both.
It doesn't matter.
Two different games. I think you have to have a little more, leg strength in beach volleyball because moving around in the sand's a little more difficult.
I might not be tall enough. Because those fucking people
this is one thing
massive.
I need. This is one thing I need to know: are the nets the same size in beach volleyball and regular volleyball? Or are they shorter in beach volleyball? I'm curious.
I'm not sure. I would not be good at table tennis because or like ping pong, whatever you want to call it, because like I get scared of the ball in general.
Get scared of the ball.
Yeah, like when like somebody whacks it.
They do whip that fucking thing.
I've seen Forrest Gump.
but here's the thing, like I'm pretty decent at table tennis, so if I like dedicated my life to it at 5 years old, 6 years old, I think I could be pretty good at table tennis.
Mike, I agree. So I encourage you.
Thank you.
I don't get encouragement, but I encourage you.
Well, I appreciate that.
I don't know. I the Winter Olympics, I think like bobsledding always like interest me. I don't know if I'd be like good at it, but like because you have to be like tiny for that. I'm not tall, but I'm not tiny either.
Them things go fast, man.
Yeah.
Hey, if the Jamaican bobsled team could do it, I think you could dumb.
Maybe. But again, they're probably like 5'2", 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm not 5 foot, 100 pounds soaking wet.
No.
I don't know. I think.
I'm trying to think of the other like. But what about isn't it? I think I heard a rumor. I don't even know if this is true or not. I heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet. 1 second. Is like breakdancing a thing now in the Olympics? I think I saw breakdancing was an event in the Olympics. Would you be good at breakdancing?
Absolutely not. It's funny because I was telling my wife this like like when you're watching gymnastics, right? Like when they're on like the beam and like they're doing all that crazy shit. I'm sitting here and I'm like, as a regular human who has only watches gymnastics every 4 years at the Olympics, a handful of times during the Olympics, I have no idea what the fuck's going on. Like I don't know how to tell when they do like the 2 bars when they jump back and forth. I don't know how to tell whether or not somebody's good or bad, right? Like I can't sit here and say like, wow, that was amazing, or like, wow, that was terrible. But like when you watch somebody like Simone Biles or like
Sure.
the other girl, I forget her name. You watch them and you're just like, holy fuck. Like I don't know what I just watched, but like you saw something great.
Sure.
There was another event, another sport that I said that about. I forget what it was, but the other day I had like cycling on. I was watching cycling. Like that's crazy too.
Really?
It's crazy because
cycling?
Like, well, so what I have that thing where like you put it on and like you can watch like 4 boxes.
Yeah, it's like the red zone of the Olympics.
Yeah. And then I also had the channel on where like they moved to like all the whenever the Americans are on, like, and there was an American that was in the lead, and like I turn it on and like it's cycling, whatever. It's like it's riding a bike, like whatever. But like I was watching it and they're saying that it's so loud there that like they can't even hear. I guess they have like people at like when turns are made, like they have people that tell them like a turn is coming up, like all the
That's
cyclists.
cheating. I don't like that.
Well, no, it's like the Olympics do it. It's not just for like
I know, but
people.
I still don't like that.
Yeah, I don't for whatever reason. Like I'm not saying I agree or disagree with it, but like
I don't like
they have this thing where like they tell and the riders couldn't hear it. And they're like, yeah, Sweden and Ireland are like fighting for first place right now, and they're talking about like there's like 2 minutes left in a basketball game, and the Americans are in third and blah blah blah, and they're like they still have an hour and a half to go, and I'm like, the fuck? Like I feel like it's like,
no,
it's the last 2 minutes of like a basketball game. I'm like, go! Still an hour and a half. They're not even in Paris. Like they're fucking cycling from like Russia probably. I don't know. Like I'm sitting here like and I'm like they have an hour and a half left. I'm like fuck this.
I don't think you realize how far away Russia is from France.
No, I know.
But
I think they were in like whatever the city next to Paris is. That takes an hour and a half to cycle from. I don't know.
Well, Paris is probably big enough where you could probably get from one side. Like they could have just done it in Paris, probably the whole thing, right?
Yeah, but I guess because so many things are blocked off. Maybe.
Yeah. I guess I don't know.
Do you hear about the water there?
I was about what about the water?
The like the river.
There was like a triathlon where like they swam in the river, right?
I don't know if they did. I think they keep pushing it off.
Oh, I thought. Okay, I thought they did it. Maybe they pushed it off. Apparently they spent a ton of money cleaning this river and all that shit. Yeah.
So apparently they were supposed in the opening ceremonies they were supposed to swim in it, and they were like, "Yeah, it's really bad. We're just gonna have to postpone the like the events in the river," and they keep postponing it because the water's shit. It's shit water.
Yeah, right. But why anybody thought that was a good idea in the first place is
never.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was never a good idea. But I've been watching here and there if I can, like, turn it on here and there. But
yeah, I think I watched 30. I watched like 30 seconds of the USA Puerto Rico basketball game, and I really had no interest. Yeah, and then I watched like one event with Simone Biles, and that was pretty much it. That's all I watched of the Olympics. My problem with the gymnastics and things like that is like you say, you don't know what's good or bad. I'm sure these judges know every little minor detail.
Sure,
but to me, like, I don't know. I like competitions where like it's people against people competing in a sport where like a
like
final result.
Yeah.
You know a result where like gymnastics just seems subjective to me. I don't like it.
It's that's why I like track and field. Like I like watching the track matches.
Yeah, so I saw the dude that like won by like a toenail or something.
His
the
chest,
American, his chest. Like it was so.
So it's not the foot that's like a big like thing right now.
So I thought it was the foot.
Okay. No, it's not the foot.
It's
the torso. It's the torso.
Okay.
Anything from the neck down. That's why he like. That's why you see them like do their chest.
Yeah,
they puff their chest out. Or like they lean forward. But
the
Jamaican had almost his whole foot across the line, and lost.
Right.
And people are like, "Well, it's a running competition. Don't you think the foot should like be what counts. And I think that's unfair. I think it's because I think if you're striding, it's
I'm willing to hear both sides of the argument.
Yeah, I just think if you're running, you can't worry about your foot. Yeah, I think if you worry about your foot, you've a chance to break your leg.
Yeah, I guess
you can lean forward this way with your right or your left foot. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about getting a foot across.
I see anytime I see the end of a race, my eyes go right to your legs. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I think I think the torso makes sense. I think it
works. I mean, it works for him, so sure, yeah. Why not?
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I really got for the Olympics. It's coming to LA in 4 years.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Did you see flag football is becoming an Olympic sport?
I did, yes.
There's 5 or 6 new sports. I think 3 of them are, what do you call it? Have already been done before.
Okay.
And they're bringing them back. Like lacrosse is coming back.
Oh, is it? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
Cricket's coming back. It used to be in the Olympics.
Don't know a thing about cricket.
Me neither. And there was one or two more.
Breakdancing, I told you, was going to be in the Olympics. It's in this year, I think. I don't think they started competitions yet. I think I saw August 9th, which seems a little late, but
yeah. But yeah, I like watching the swimming. The swimming's fun, especially with Phelps. Like Phelps was a lot of fun growing up. Like Katie Ledecky's amazing to watch right now.
It's going to bring back baseball and softball.
Yes, that's right.
Cricket and lacrosse. Flag football and squash. I don't even know what is that?
It's like
a fruit, or a vegetable?
It's kind of like I think it's comparable to like, isn't it like almost like racquetball?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Let me
look it up real quick. Just look up the definition. What is
squash? Sometimes
not
called
vegetable.
Yeah, squash. Sometimes called squash. Rackets is a racket and ball. Okay, yeah, this is racquetball basically. Played by 2 or 4 players if you're playing doubles, in a 4-walled court with small, hollow rubber balls.
You want to hear? All right. You know what I think squash is? Bear with me here, everybody.
Okay.
Do you know that episode of Bluey? I think they play squash in that.
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah, I think you're right.
Isn't that crazy that I just said that? And you know what I'm talking about? And we're 2 fucking full-blown adults, male adults that...
I mean, we both have young children.
I could recite every fucking word to that episode.
Out of all the other trash these kids can watch, I'm perfectly fine with Bluey. Like that's one.
I just wish there was more. I just wish there was more because like it's just
the episodes are like 4 minutes long. Thing. That's a thing.
But yeah, there's just the same fucking. I've watched the same episodes 100 times.
There's a decent amount of episodes.
I think there's like 30 something, but like again, they're 4
short.
minutes.
They're like 4, 4 or 5 minutes.
I think it's a little. I think it's like 8 minutes, but like
7 minutes.
They're like 8 minutes, but like you blow by. Like you can watch a whole season in one day. Why the fuck are we talking about Bluey?
It's so much more interesting than talking about training camp.
Yeah.
But all right. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it this week. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Phired Up Sports. Check out the site as well. We will see everybody next Monday. See you then.